Hey guys, Jimmy here, developer of the KeyLifts app. I'm going to show you a walkthrough and show you some tips and tricks and how to get the most out of the template editor. So on this templates tab, it's basically grouped into three categories. You have verified templates, community templates, and then your own, mine. So verified templates are templates that have been proven to be, solid, successful templates. They're either by somebody famous or they by a random person, and a lot of people vouch for it. The community tab is relatively new, but people have been adding their own variations of common programs. They've been adding their own personal programs they've came up with themselves. It'll be interesting as people keep adding more and more. We're going to have a huge library of programs within the app. So I'm going to tap on this boring but big program. And when you tap on a program, you'll see an overview. It'll give you just kind of the basics, 4 workouts per week, 3 weeks long. These gray boxes along the top here, this is just showing the intensity of the program. So this one gets, you start with like for your main lifts and your supplemental lifts that are based on percentages of your 1 rep maxes. The percentages are lower in the first week. They get higher in the second week, and then they're highest in the third week. So you scroll down and you got some reviews here, and feel free to write your own if you want. And then you'll have a more of a detailed overview of the exercises here. You see push, pull legs. Those are placeholders. So when you run this exercise, when you run this workout, you can select your exercises that day, or we'll tap customize, and when you go into customize it, you can add them before you create the cycle of workouts. Which a cycle of workout is a set of workouts based on this template. So when you get dropped in here, we'll start at the top. You see there's quick and there's detailed. Quick makes it is a more simplified view. It makes it really easy to edit a program. Detail is, we'll talk more about later, but it's when you want to get in the weeds and really get down and configure on a set by set and exercise by exercise basis. Up here at the top, we have day 1, and to the right of day 1, there's the white double square icon. That's to copy a day. If you tap that, it'll copy everything in day 1, and now we have a day 5. See, this was only 4 days, but now it's a day 5. And when you copy it in the quick view, you're editing day 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're editing day 1, 2, 3, 4 for every week. So when you hit copy day 1, it copies day 1 and it makes a day 5. So now we have day 5 on week 1, week 2, week 3. So everything you do in this view, the quick view, will be applied to that same day of every week. So you can delete a day. We'll scroll back down to day 5. We copied it, but now we changed our mind. We're going to go back to a 4-day week. We'll delete that, and we're back to 4 days. So I'll scroll back to the top. We got T1, T2, and T3. You may already be familiar with that. T1 is your main exercises, typically squat, deadlift, bench press. T2 is similar to your main exercises. T2 also known as supplemental. Squat, deadlift, bench press, could be other variations, like an incline bench press, dumbbell bench press, some other kind of compound lift that's based off percentages. So that's T1 and T2. T3 are assistance exercises or accessory exercises, basically just everything else. They're not compound movements. A lot of times it's just focus, like one muscle, like a bicep curl or a tricep extension. It can be compound movements too, So if you don't care about T1, T2, if you don't care about percentages, then all your exercises can just be T3. In here we have, to the right of the name, you got this chart line going up. Tap that. That shows you your history. So in here you'll have all your stats and charts once you start logging workouts. And the history tab is empty now, but you'll have your history of workouts listed there. And here's some info. So not every exercise has this info, but it's just a video from YouTube if you want some pointers on form or what have you. And then they'll have some instructions. The equipment, is it a barbell, is it a cable machine, primary muscle, and then secondary muscles. Exit out of that. Now in the bottom left of the squat, we have progressions, and then next to it is percentage scheme. So we'll talk about percentage scheme first. That is the percentages that you're doing for your exercise. So 5, 3, 1, 40, 50, 60%, that's the warm up. And then 5 reps, 65%, 5 reps, 75, 5 reps, 85. If you select something else like 5 pros. So now this changes the rep and set scheme for day 1 squats on week 1, week 2, week 3. And in this percentage scheme, these are preloaded into the app, but there's create new percentage scheme. So you can create whatever you want, your own custom design or from another program you want to run. And it's just an easy way to apply changes to templates. You have this week 1, and this would be your set and rep and percentage schemes. And you can tap the add week to add another week. Whenever you select a week 1 or week 2, whatever is selected, whatever is blue, you'll get this little 3 dots button. And that's how you can copy a scheme to another week or just delete. You can add a set. Yeah, that's it. Custom percentage scheme. So we'll close that out. Now progressions. The app will automatically increase or decrease the weight for you. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on that in this video. I think this probably should be its own separate video. But just so you know, there's a couple of different ways that you can configure the app to apply progressions. The progressions for T1 and T2 are the same. Progressions for T3 are a little bit different. You see select push assistance exercise. This is like a placeholder. So this is to tell you, hey, you got to do 25 to 50 reps of push, 25 to 50 reps of pull, 25 to 50 reps of legs. That little flag on a mountain, it's like a target. This is your goal amount of reps. And you can change that. So you can tap it and you can say, okay, I like doing higher rep stuff. So instead of 25 to 50, I'm going to do 100 to 150. And now on the push day, my target is 100 to 150. You can leave this like that. And then when you create workouts from this template, you can fill in that exercise with whatever one you feel like doing that day. But if you like planning ahead of time, you can just tap on the blue text and then you can select it. So these are all of our push exercises. We'll tap Arnold dumbbell press. So now see a few things here. Now we have a progression. The progressions are a little different for T3s because they're not based on percentages and training maxes. So all the progressions for T1 and T2 increase or decrease the training max. All the progressions for T3 increase weights or reps or both. So I'll link another video where you can see that. We've added Arnold dumbbell press to day 1 for each week in this cycle. Right now it has us doing 5 sets of 10 reps with the target. Our target is 100 to 150. Or if you feel like changing this, you're like, well, maybe that's too much. So we'll do 75 to 100. There you go. You're all set. If you want to add an exercise to day 1, it's simple. You just tap there. You can add. There's a ton of exercises already built into the app. If there's something in there that you want that's not there, you can tap this create in the top left and put in the name for your exercise. And then there's some details here. So primary muscle, you can select 1. So we'll say lats. And secondary muscles, you can select more than 1, or you don't have to select any at all. The equipment, is it a barbell? Is it a body weight exercise? Maybe a dumbbell exercise? Is it a machine? The category. So this is push, pull, legs, or core, or other. Below category is type. So what we've seen so far is exercises that are reps and weight. But you could have reps only, like pull-ups and push-ups. Duration. There's a whole bunch of them in here. So you select whatever type of, duration by weight. So if you're doing weighted vest runs for time or weighted planks, you do duration by weight. And these weight units here, there's pounds and kilograms. And If you want to change the weight units for the whole app, you can do that in settings. But this is if you want to change weight units for a specific exercise. So maybe you're a power lifter and all your main lifts are in kgs, but everything else, you got pound dumbbells, and you can change it here. Then you can toggle if it uses a band, and then you'll be able to select a band, which I'll show you, and band assisted or bands to make it heavier. The volume of the exercise will be calculated differently because the bands have an assigned weight to them. So if it's band assisted, it's going to subtract that from the volume. If it's not band assisted, then it's going to add that to the volume. If you want this exercise to be one where you log reps in reserve or RPE, you can do that. And this last one is unilateral. So that is basically just for calculating volume. So if you're doing dumbbell curls with 25-pound dumbbells, well, you're doing 25 and you do 3 sets of 10. Well, you do 10 reps in one arm, 10 reps on the other. So the actual volume is double. So that's one time when you'll use that. So I'll hit save. I can add it to the workout. Add placeholder exercises. This is what we were just looking at. Placeholder ones, you got push, pull, legs, core, but also you can add a placeholder by muscle group. So I want to make sure I hit my triceps, so I'll add a placeholder for triceps. So I'll add those two. If you tap superset, it'll group them as a superset together. It'll color code them together. We'll add those. So my exercise. So remember, my exercise is duration by weight. And so you may be asking yourself, well, where do I enter the weight? The answer to that is you don't enter any weights into the template because the weights will automatically be filled in for you after your first time performing the exercise. So your first time performing the exercise, the weight will be empty. It'll have 0. You fill in whatever. And then the next time you perform that exercise, the app will automatically fill it in for you. We'll go. So I'm going to tap on my exercise. And when you tap on my exercise, you're going to go into a more detailed view. You see we have our time. So we can change our time to, let's say, 2 minutes. That'll be 2 minutes. Then we'll go 3 minutes and finish it off with 4 minutes. So then band is gray, which means there's no band there. And then you tap on that, you can select the band you want. You can also tap the edit because your bands might be different colors for different weights. So you can select, you can tap edit and you can change these bands around. Add a new band, a delete band, make it match your whatever you have. So we'll tap extra light. So now we got a 2 minute weighted extra light band exercise. One more thing I'll talk about here on the quick view, quick editor, is this 3 dots button next to on the right of the exercise names. That's going to bring up a lot of settings. So these are all going to be a lot of configuration stuff in here. There's videos and instructions. There's rest timer. So in the regular app settings, which you get through the profile, there's a rest timer, like a global rest timer for the whole app. But you can also set rest timers for a specific exercise. So right now, this is a T1 main exercise. The default is 3 minutes. So you could edit the default. These are all the default rest times. But say you want to wait 4 minutes for just squats. Keep everything else 3. So you can do that. Let's say we'll go to 4. So our main exercise is 4 minute wait time. But when squat is a supplemental or assistance, we're not really pushing it that heavy, so we don't need 4 minutes. So we can keep it at 3 minutes. So we got some other options here. You can swap this exercise. So we can swap for a different one. Okay, we have squat. We're gonna swap it. What do we want to do? Okay, we'll see if there's some kind of squat machine. Yeah, let's say hack squat. So we want to do hack squats. So now we have our hack squat machine plate loaded. That's our new T1 main exercise, and that's going to be for every day. So you can group that exercise as a superset. you can copy the exercise, and then you pick which days you want to go to. You can go, copy it to day 1, 2, 3, whatever you want. You can delete, you can reorder. So when you tap reorder, it's just going to tell you don't have to go into the menu. All you got to do is tap and hold this, and we can reorder like that. So now hack squat's in the middle. We'll warm up with our T2. Remember, we swapped out the main squat exercise, but we had a main and a supplemental, a T1 and a T2. So we'll start with our T2, and then eventually get to the hack squat. But let's say, we have my exercise, and we're thinking, oh, we don't want to do it on day 1. We want to do it on day 2. Well, you can just drag it. Same thing. Drag it down, my exercise. So now it's gone from day 1 and it's down in day 2. Yeah, so if you want to change the exercise, like say you want to start logging reps in reserve, you go in there and you just edit. You can edit any exercise, whether it's preloaded in there or one you created. So this Arnold press, we have our target reps of 75 to 100. And anytime it's a placeholder, anytime you swap the placeholder for the actual exercise, it's going to tell you what the target rep goal is. But the rest of the exercise don't have target rep goals. But if you wanted to add a target rep goal to it, you could. So you can set target rep goal of 25 reps. So now we have a target rep goal on this one too. So let's go to the detailed tab. So this is so it's the same template. It's just the same one we've been editing, but now we can dig into more detail. You'll see the screen is kind of split. We can swipe up here and I'm going to show you what we got. We got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So we tap those and we see all the exercises. And then we have it break down by week. So right now we're in week 1, week 2, week 3. So before on the quick edit, when we swapped hack squat machine plate loaded, it swapped that for every week. But if you only want to do, say you only want to swap for 1 day. So you tap here, you got to go into detailed, and then we'll swap exercise. And we're going to swap that for the back extension machine. You'll see that this is a new screen. What days do you want to swap? So you could just swap this exercise or day 1 of each week. So if we swap day 1 of each week, it'll be just like on the quick edit where it swaps them all out. But if we want to swap just this one, just this hack squat on just this day, so now we have back extension instead of hack squat. And if you go to week 2, we still have hack squat. Week 3, day 1, we still have hack squat. Week 1, day 1, we have the back extension. So this lets you get down there in a little more detail. On the quick edit screen, the T1 and T2, when you're editing percentages, you can only change based on the percentage schemes that you've created or that are already built in. But here, you can edit it by individual sets. This is our T2 squat. 10 reps, 50%. Let's go to the last set. We're going to make it 10 reps, 75%. We're really going to go for it. So we'll go back. That was week 1, day 1, T2 squat. We'll go week 2, day 1, T2 squat. See, it's not, just changes that one set. If we were on the quick edit screen, it would have changed all the sets. So we're going in here and then we go to reps. Oh yeah, see this button, update all reps. Tap this button on the keyboard to update reps for all instances of this exercise. So this is important to keep in mind. If you tap 8, see it automatically changes all of the reps for you. Because if all the reps and the whole exercise are the same, then it's just assuming, if you're doing 3 sets of 10 reps, and it assumes you want to change it 3 sets of 12 reps. So it changes all of them in this exercise. If they're different, like let's say this is 10. Well, first I'll show you. So see, it only updates the ones below it. So the 8's above stayed and the 10's all changed. So if you want to make some sets different than others, edit below like we just did. The other thing is this little 3 arrow button on the keyboard. So if we go, let's say 14 reps, and you hit that, that's going to change this exercise to 14 reps, but it's going to change it to every place where there's this squat T2. Now we go back into week 2, day 1, squat T2, 14. Tap week 3, day 1, squat T2, 14. See, that button changes the reps for the entire, for every time there's a squat T2. If there's a squat T1, it won't change it. It's by exercise name and the type of it, and whether it's T2, T1, T3. A lot of these other stuff is the same. So the little history buttons, stats, history, that's all the same. The 3 dots button, it's all the same, but you're just going to get the option to choose you're going to get this option to choose just this one or swap for day 1 of each week. So we'll go in, if you want to change from T1 to T2 to T3, etc., just go in there and you tap, change it. So now our Arnold press is T2 supplemental. So now it's a percentage-based exercise. So now we got to put some percentages in here. What that means is when we create a cycle from this template, we're going to have to enter our training max for this exercise. So this one, to reorder the exercises, you can't drag it and drop it because the screen is just too complicated. There's too many tabs and buttons. This is how you reorder exercise on the screen, and you do it one by one. So if I take this T1 bench press and I move it to the bottom, it's only changing week 1, day 2. It's not going to change week 2, day 2. Week 2, day 2 is going to stay the same. So the other interesting thing is you can move an exercise to another day. So I can take the T1 bench press from week 1, day 2, and I'll drag it all the way up here to the top, week 1, day 1. And then hit save to save your changes. And if you don't want to save your changes, hit the X and it won't save them. So let's see, we're on week 3, day 1. So let's go. Week 1, day 1. Bench press is at the top. So here we are. If you see the sets going across the side, we got WWW, that's the warm-ups. The other ones are just regular set numbers. This is a PR set, which means you go all out, do as many reps as possible. And if you tap on that, you can change it. You got warm-up set, regular sets, drop sets, PRs, joker sets, rest pause sets, and failed sets. When you have a day selected, right now we have day 1 selected, you'll see a little 3 dots button. You can tap that and you can copy a day, delete a day, or reorder. The reorder screen that I showed you just a minute ago was just for exercise only. This is what you want to reorder the whole day. So we want to change these all up. We want day 1, where I have our, where we just moved that bench press to, we want to move that to the end of the week. And that's going to bump up all the other ones. So now it'll be this day 2, 3, 4, then day 1. And we hit save. It's going to change the order. And then it'll change the name. So it'll be right, it'll be the numbers in the right order. Day 4 is now the first one, which had our back extension and our bench press. If you want to add a day to a week, you tap add day. This just adds day 5 to week 1. Week 2 and week 3 are still the same. So remember, details like getting in the weeds. If you want to add a day to every week, go to the quick tab. The other thing to mention about the quick tab, I think I forgot to mention, is that it's good for exercises programs where the workouts are the same, every day the same. So like day 1 of each week is the same, day 2 is the same. You'll have some programs where it's like a 3-day program and you have 2 different workouts, A, B, and you're alternating. So week 1 is A, B, A, and then week 2 is continuing as B, A, B. You can't use the quick editor for that because the first day of the week on week 1 is A, but the first day of the week on week 2 is a B workout. So they're not lined up like that. So in that case, you got to use a detailed editor. There's you see a little 3 dots next to the week. Same options here as the day, the copy week, delete week, and reorder week. So we could take week 1 and we're going to pop that in the middle. and hit save. We're at week 1 and they've been reordered. So we got to go tap week 2. This was the old week 1 with our 5 days and our bench press and back extension. On the left, top left, is the X button. So if you've done all these changes, but you decide, you know what, I like the template the way it was. I don't want to save it. I'm done. Hit the X. To the right of that, this little back arrow thing, if you tap that, it's going to say, do you want to reset your template? So this is going to go back to the way it was when we first started editing. So maybe you made your changes and you didn't like it, and you decide that you want to start back at the beginning. You want to go back to what it was, and you're going to edit it again. You can do that. But when all said and done, and you have the template how you want, you hit save. So now this is our boring but big template. You go to the workout tab and tap create cycle from template, or tap the top right plus button. Create cycle from template. Select our template. Everything that's a T1 or a T2, you're going to have to enter training maxes. So I'm not going to fill all this out, but I'll fill out squat and I'll fill out bench press. So then we'll create our cycle. Here is our cycle of workouts. So we'll just start week 1, day 1. We'll perform our workouts. But actually, we decided that we're just going to delete this exercise. We don't want to do squats. We'll mark these off. Okay, so then we're going to finish our workout. All right, we're going to save it. So now it's going to ask us, okay, do you want to update the template? Like we deleted the T2 squat from week 1, day 1. Do you want to update it? Yeah, well, you could tap update template. You could also tap see all changes, and it'll give you a more detailed. We only made one change, but if you're adding sets, deleting sets, and things like that, there may be some changes you don't want to, like maybe we want the template to change. We want the squat to be gone, but we also added a set, but we just want to do one extra set today, and we don't want to update the template. This is where you can pick and choose. So we tap update template. Okay, so there we go. Now we go back to boring but big, and we'll edit the template, and we see that our T2 on day 1 is gone. Now let's go week 1, day 2. We got bench press and we got my exercise. I think I don't want to do my exercise. I'm going to delete it. But just this one, I just don't want to do it on week 1, day 1. I'll hit save. Now we go to the workout tab, week 1, day 2. My exercise is gone. Whenever you update your template, whenever you edit it, it's going to update any cycles that you've created, any workouts here that you haven't started, that you haven't completed. All these exercises will be completed. It's not gonna change anything from all your completed workouts. The template, it doesn't prompt you to say, do you want to update? Because it's just gonna automatically update. The reason why the workout prompts you and you have to tap to update it is because it allows you to have flexibility. You know, you can change it around your workouts day to day, but not change the entire template. When you complete all this, and maybe you're gonna run the template again, you want to run it how it was before. So these are all the workouts. If you slide that down, you'll see all this stuff behind here. So the name, you can change the name, boring but big too. This leader button is a type of template. And leader and anchor is a 5-3-1 concept where you run typically you run like a leader program once or twice and then an anchor. There's also a deload template, strength focus template, or hypertrophy or other. So this is just like kind of what the purpose of this, set of workouts is going to be. So we'll leave that as leader. Now, if you remember on the quick tab, you can change the percentage scheme for the exercise. This right here, this main scheme, that changes the percentage schemes for all T1 exercises throughout the whole template. So that means we have bench press T1 right there. We got a deadlift T1 on day 3. So if we go up here and we change to portals 5-3-1. Now deadlifts has changed, 7 sets, 3 warm up, 1 PR. Bench press, 7 sets, 3 warm ups, 1 PR. This is all the portals. So it changes it for the entire template. And also this is the same for supplemental scheme. So we can select, these are popular ones: boring but big, boring but strong, and you can also create your own percentage scheme. So this warm-up sets is to apply or remove. Warm-up sets the entire template. The progressions tab, you'll see how you can configure progressions for the exercise, based on the exercise, and I'll have another video that goes over this. And if we slide the workouts down, you'll see this weekly INOL, and that is a measure of intensity. So it kind of shows you how hard or easy a specific workout is, or workouts over a week. It's just a way to gain a little bit of insight. So if you scroll up on this, then you'll see the breakdown of the assistance exercises by category: push, pull, legs, and then other. And a lot of this is placeholders because we haven't swapped out anything for the placeholders yet. So we will save our changes. That's it. And now you have your template. And if you ever want to share this with other people, you can tap share. 2 ways to share it. Publish a template means that this is you're gonna share it with everybody in the app. It's gonna be on the community tab, which is like kind of cool. It makes it easy for you to share with anybody, whether it's somebody you know or not. The other way is you can send a template directly to a friend. So you tap send link, and this comes up, so you can send them the link, and they can get the link, and they can download it. It's just directly between you and another person. So anyways, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time.